Water obviously is the most important system for human survival, and we have problems with it worldwide. What we do here is we only have water that we capture from the rain, and we store it in very large cisterns. The rains only come for 4 months out of the year, so we have to store enough in those 4 months to survive the entire rest of the year. That means we really have to be careful with our water use because it's very expensive to either build or to buy water storage systems. It's the storing of the water that's expensive, not the capturing it. We have tested the water, and it seems like it's perfectly fine. I do provide outside drinking water in reusable bottles for participants because I don't want them to get sick, even if it's just psychosomatic sickness. But I drink the water from here, and I'm fine. The primary ways that we deal with water differently than other places are we use no water in toilets. All of our toilets are composting toilets. So that means we use far less than people would use in their normal lives in the city. The composting toilets use no water at all. And in a normal household, they use about 40% of the house's use. So it's a huge cost of water. Water toilets are an enormous problem. I don't actually know how many gallons that they use in the city. I suppose it depends on how often you use the toilet, whether you're using urinals or sitting down. So here I don't know, but whatever it is that people were using in the city, when they're here, they can be happy that they're not wasting any water in the toilet. The other thing we do is to keep clean, we use a sauna. And if you sit in that sauna for 20 or 40 minutes, you're going to sweat, and your skin is even going to loosen up and start to peel off a little bit. And you'll end up much cleaner than if you had used a shower. And then next to the sauna, we have a cold water shower, and nobody's going to abuse cold water. It's not comfortable. So by not providing hot showers during most of the year, we can save a lot of water. Now, of course, during the rainy season, we have a surplus of water. So that time we can take showers. And really, one of the biggest things we need to do is to get a lot more water storage. We're probably losing out on about 85 or 90% of the water we could be capturing simply because we don't have a way to store it. There's all kinds of ways to store water, and we have examples of a variety of them here. We have a ferro-cement cistern, which is a concrete over a wire mesh. And I don't really care for those. They always seem to leak, and also if there was an earthquake, they would break. We have a cistern that was very costly to make that holds about probably around 90,000 liters of water. It's a large stone cistern. It's very thick. It did fail for a couple of years, and we had to refinish the inside and re-cement it. My concern with the concrete ones we have is, the concrete and rock ones, is that if there's an earthquake, boom, we lose all of our water. So that's a huge problem. The other kind of cisterns we have are a plastic material, and they're what's used in tinacos all over Mexico. But we have really big ones. The great thing about those, that even though they're a plastic material, which we'd like to avoid, they're not going to break in an earthquake. You know, they'll just wiggle and stuff. So we want to go with those as a solution. If we also cover those up and we make sure that the sun never hits them, they should last indefinitely. So in this case, the plastic cistern is the way to go. How much water do we use a year? I don't know. It depends. If there's no people here, then I hardly use any. And if I have extra, then in the springtime when it's really dry, we start watering some plants, which we normally wouldn't do. But if we get a lot of people here and they all want to take showers, then we don't have any water. So we solved that problem by not allowing it. I guess a good thing to guess is how much water per person do we need to survive here? And if we're not using a water-based toilets, we're not using a shower, then really all that's left is drinking water, dishes, cleaning stuff, and then we do water the baby plants. And that's actually probably our highest use of water. Is even though we're against irrigation, we do water small plants until they're big enough to then put out in the forest where they have to survive on their own. So per person, how much water do we really need if we're not including agriculture? It's probably, I don't know, maybe it's probably less than a couple of gallons a day, certainly. But there's another factor when you're looking at how much water you're using in your life. You have to count all the water that's used for the food you buy. So all of the irrigation happening to produce your wheat or your oats or your corn, you have to count as part of your ecological footprint.